Travis.
Yeah?
What do Smackdown, 205 Live, and this a can of mixed nuts have in common?
I can only imagine.
All better than Raw.
That's true. Yeah.
It's Tuesday Night Live.
That's the video.
Except it's probably like Wednesday
morning
evening.
recorded. Not Wednesday evening.
Well, I mean like when you're watching.
Maybe. Unless you wake up and you watch it, which if
Wednesday
you
afternoon. Pre-recorded.
Yeah,
live.
so a big part of SmackDown obviously was Daniel Bryan's return and his deliberation on the issues with the women's Money in the Bank.
Yeah, and I feel like, despite the fact that he had like backstage segments with every female involved, and Carmella had a promo at the beginning of the show, and there's the big everyone in the ring in the right before the main event, still was like the same. All of that smashed together was the same amount of time as the Cass Enzo segment.
Yeah, no, SmackDown does a really good job at pacing.
Time management.
Do we want to talk about that first, or should we?
Well, I mean, we've already talked about it, so let's just knock it out.
Yeah, so Daniel Bryan told all the girls that he was going to listen to what Carmella had to say first. So Carmella came out, had a great heel promo.
Yeah.
She took all of the anger and hatred that has come out the last 48 hours, and she used it to benefit herself and James Ellsworth.
Yeah.
Very well done.
This is a sad moment for Enzo Amore, because this is where he realizes both of the people that he is responsible for launching into WWE have now surpassed him.
I hadn't put that together until you just said it, and that is sad. In 24 hours.
In 24 hours, Carmella has won like an event in WWE, which Enzo has not, and Cass kicked him in the face, which Enzo has not.
It's a bad week to be Enzo Amore. So yeah, she pretty much says that, hey, there's been interference in Money in the Bank before. It's no disqualification. You know, all this stuff. She gives very good reasons as to why she should remain Miss Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
So then throughout the night we have Charlotte say her piece about how she doesn't really care about how she's feeling physically. She wants the whole situation rectified. Natty was trying to suck up and like, hey Daniel, it's so nice to see you.
For some reason, Tamina is like still being forced paired with Natty.
And Tamina doesn't give a fuck.
No.
Tamina's like, Natty, shut the hell up. Daniel, fix the situation, or something bad's going to happen. I would believe Tamina. And then we also had a half Sami Zayn segment where we find out he's going to face Baron Corbin next week, and is also Becky Lynch talking about how every time she's in a position to really achieve something, there's someone there to cut in front of her, undermine the whole situation, and just completely screw her over by taking shortcuts. She's trying to do things the right way. There's always someone trying to take advantage of that. So, after all of that, we have Daniel Bryan come out, bring all the ladies out, and each one kind of still has their thing to say, even James Ellsworth, who gets shut down by Daniel Bryan because you don't bring up the man's family.
Yeah, if you talk about his daughter again, he's going to murder you.
Legit.
Yeah, he said he's going to punch him. Like, I'm not sure where the logistics of this fall into place, but he's going to punch him so fast that he can't breathe.
He's going to punch him in the face. So, he said, I'm going to punch you in the face till you can't breathe, and then I'm going to fire you.
Yeah, so you're going to murder him and then fire him.
I mean,
I guess he's not that good for you if he's dead.
It's true. And so everyone kind of gets another little piece to say. Daniel Bryan shuts everybody down and kind of reiterates the fact that, yes, people have gotten involved in Money in the Bank before. It's no disqualification. All these things that Carmella said is true. But this is the first time in Money in the Bank that someone else has climbed up, grabbed the briefcase, and given it to someone. That has never happened. So they are technically in a situation that is not talked about in the rule book.
Yeah.
Therefore, Daniel Bryan makes the executive decision that not only is Carmella the winner of the first ever, but she's also the first ever to have to give up the Money in the Bank briefcase because they are going to... They're not going to strike it from the record book because it already happened, but we're going to have another Women's Money in the Bank next week. And one thing that wasn't talked about on SmackDown, but I saw was talked about on Talking Smack, is that James Ellsworth is banned from ringside.
Smart.
So, all 5 women will redo the match. I hope it gets at least like a quarter of the show.
That would be nice.
I would say at least a half an hour needs to be dedicated to this match specifically next week on SmackDown. A half an hour long main event to determine who is Miss Money in the Bank needs to happen. And then we had a big old brawl. Everyone fought each other, and Carmella was left in the ring to get destroyed by both Charlotte and Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
So,
also happening next week will be a return match for Money in the Bank. I feel a pattern coming out here.
At least they didn't do it this week, like technically the night after.
Yeah.
They're waiting a week.
Naomi's gonna give Lana another chance.
Yeah.
Because Lana, I guess, it's just because Lana's brave enough to step up to Naomi during a promo.
Yeah.
Backstage.
I mean, Lana said, you should be thanking Carmella because if it wasn't for her, I would have taken the championship from you. So Naomi's like, okay, fine, we'll see what happens. So, yeah, that is also going to happen again next week. But this week, the matches that did happen, we had Big E defeat Jimmy Uso in singles action.
That was a pretty good match.
Yeah, good match, some good...
a lot of it happened during the commercial.
Yep, which luckily, they've been doing more of that, hey, here's the whole match. You can keep watching it while the commercials are going. That is a big benefit that they've started using. Yeah, I mean, good match. Both guys did some great stuff. We had some good outside interference. Jay trying to get himself involved. And then Woods and Kingston actually stopping the Usos from walking out like they did at Money in the Bank. Caused Jimmy to get back in. Jimmy ends up getting hit with a big ending, and Big E wins the match. We also had a earlier in the day interview with Randy Orton and Todd Phillips, where Randy Orton talks about how what the Singh brothers did with Bob Orton. Just kind of it took him out of the match, made him see red. He wasn't focused.
Made him hear voices. But these ones were outside of his head.
Well, there were a lot of voices outside his head. There was like 15,000 people in that arena.
Yeah, figure that one out. This is the first time he's ever heard them.
This is monumental for Randy.
Yeah.
But anyway, he talked about how the next time he gets that chance, it's not going to be the same. He is going to get revenge for what happened at Money in the Bank. We also had the first ever on SmackDown Live match between Shinsuke and Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to say first ever every single time.
Yeah, they do.
But you're gonna anyway. Good match. This was better than their Backlash match.
I felt like it was.
Way better. Great work from both guys. They've been in a couple matches at this point now, so they kind of know how to work together. But Shinsuke ended up picking up the win with a Kinshasa, as per usual, because that's what he does. Kevin Owens had the Face of America United States Open Challenge, which was specifically to a resident of Dayton, Ohio.
Guess who's not a resident of Dayton, Ohio?
AJ Styles.
Yeah.
He lives in Gainesville, Georgia.
Guess who is a resident of Dayton, Ohio?
Apparently, as of this morning, Chad Gable.
Yeah, because Chad Gable lives in the arena.
Yeah. I mean, this is the first time we've seen American Alpha on SmackDown in how long? Since they got attacked by the Colognes, I think?
Yeah, so it's right after WrestleMania.
It's been a long time since we've seen American Alpha. We saw Jason Jordan for a second, then he took off, and Chad did this whole...
Because Jason Jordan is not from Dayton, Ohio.
No, he was
so
not...
he couldn't be at ringside.
I don't know, AJ stayed at ringside.
But he went on commentary.
Oh, it's not. Is that not ringside?
Well, it is, but it's not the same as like.
It's a subsidiary of ringside.
Yeah, it's not like being.
It's ringside adjacent.
It's not like being in your partner's corner.
Right. Okay.
Two different things.
Okay. So because
Jason Jordan could have been on commentary if he wanted to.
but he decided not.
Yeah. Because AJ was there.
Yeah. AJ took the spot.
Too many headsets.
So we had AJ on commentary. Great match between Owens and Gable.
Yeah.
I mean,
my only complaint is that it was shorter than I wanted it to.
Yeah, they could have easily.
This is another one that happened partially during the commercial break.
Yeah, they could have easily gone an extra 5 minutes, and it would have still been great. But due to the fact that Chad Gable is one half of a tag team, and probably isn't going to be getting a singles push anytime soon, he fell victim to the pop-up powerbomb, and Kevin Owens picked up a clean victory over Chad Gable, which they're just going to keep building this match. I would assume that the United States Championship match for SummerSlam will be Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles.
I hope so. Maybe.
It's looking like that's what they're going to do. And we also had Daniel Bryan making a decision about the Hype Bros #1 contendership status. Since it has been 6 months since they won, Daniel Bryan understands that they do have that spot, but the tag division has changed so much since that time. So he's giving them one shot to really prove that they deserve it. They will face the champions next week, and if they can defeat the champions, they will get their championship match.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Here's the I was kind of bothered by it because like you said, they do deserve that spot because that's how Zack Ryder got hurt, was in that match. But at least he's not saying, oh, well, these people are also considered #1 contenders, so you have to beat them to get your shot. At least they actually have to face the champions in a non-title match to really solidify that spot.
Yeah, I just feel like they don't need to beat anybody.
Yeah.
Despite, there were different teams, but still also a lot of the same teams on SmackDown at the time. Like the team that they actually, the last team they eliminated.
The Ascension.
Still on SmackDown.
And actually just prior to that was Breezango. Because Tyler Breeze was out just before Connor was.
Still on SmackDown.
So yeah, I understand. I don't know.
You don't have somebody win a #1 contenders match and then go, but also now you have to fight the tag team champions in a non-title match and then beat them after you've already been
but
considered the #1 contender.
in the phony world of wrestling rankings, the whole tag team division has changed as far as who are in top spots and whatnot. So, in that sense, it makes sense that they'd have to solidify themselves in a non-title contest against the champions. So we'll have that match next week, and then our main event, Jinder Mahal in a non-title match against Luke Harper.
Yay, Luke Harper on
Luke
TV.
Harper getting a main event spot against the WWE champion.
I'm happy because I like Luke Harper.
I put over Jinder Mahal in our Money in the Bank review, and I'll say right now, as soon as I saw that this match was going to happen, I was like, Jinder Mahal as champion is even more of a benefit than I even thought.
Yeah.
Because he literally opens a door for an entire new segment of the roster to challenge for the championship.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that segment does involve Mojo Rawley, because we saw that a couple weeks ago. But the fact that Luke Harper is in that segment, and he should have been a challenger a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And him and Jinder have a fantastic match.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it was an eye-opening night for Jinder, I think, because not only did he have his hands full with Luke Harper, but he also realized how many enemies he has.
All of the enemies.
Because Luke Harper is kicking ass. He's doing great. He's taking out the Singh brothers as well. And so Jinder starts to get a little bit more of the momentum back on his side. But Baron Corbin comes out and does a lap around the ring, reminding Jinder, hey, I can cash this in at any time. And Luke tries to take advantage. Unfortunately, the Singh brothers were still there to cause a distraction, allowing for a big old kick to the back of Luke Harper's head, and then the Colossus. So Jinder Mahal does defeat Luke Harper, but then Randy Orton came down and ruined the night further.
He started by hump pouncing him.
Yes. And then Jinder rolled out of the ring, and Randy sprinted halfway around the ring to clothesline him on the other side. Tried to hit him with an RKO, but had to settle for RKOing both of the Singh brothers.
Yep. Okay.
So, yeah. A good finish to the night. So some interesting stuff we're moving towards. We still have a very long way till we get to SummerSlam. So SmackDown's going to be having a lot of build over the next 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah.
A long time. But on 205 Live, we are still probably building towards Great Balls of Fire.
Yes.
Which we open up with Tozawa and Rich Swann having a conversation, and of course, who's got to butt themselves in?
Ass face.
Titus O'Neil.
Same thing.
Who, is assuming that after all the nice things he said about Tozawa on Raw, that Tozawa's just going to sign a contract to be part of the Titus brand.
Yeah, no.
Which Tozawa's like, nope. And so Titus is like, okay, we'll do a little bit more here. I'll cut you some more deals. We'll make it right, and eventually you'll be signing to the Titus brand.
Yeah, so on Raw, he's gonna make him a deal he cannot refuse.
Yes, I forgot about that part. And then we also see Tozawa later in a VIP section at ringside
During the main event.
During the main event. So we'll talk about that in a second. But we had Tony Nese versus Jack Gallagher, which was a great opening contest.
Yeah.
And this had some great build for both of these guys. Plus, they're starting to. There's a lot of alliances that they have on 205 Live, and we got a little bit more of that in a post-match segment. But Tony Nese ended up picking up the win. Jack Gallagher hooked Tony Nese into the corner, and he took a really nasty shoulder to the post and feigned the injury long enough to where the referee was checking on him, so he was able to take advantage of Jack Gallagher getting too close and not paying attention. He ended up whipping him back into the corner, hit the running Nese, and Tony Nese picked up a win over Jack Gallagher. And we saw Jack Gallagher later, where Austin Aries he proposed a loose affiliation with Jack Gallagher. Not, they've noticed that there's a lot of people kind of hanging out in groups on 205 Live, and so since Jack has been watching Aries back through the whole situation with Neville, and then now currently with Tony Nese, he's looking to extend the favor to Jack Gallagher. So a very interesting affiliation between the two of them.
Yes. The International Men of Mustache.
I love it. I'm okay with that. Noam Dar still FaceTiming with Alicia Fox.
Yep.
Alicia Fox still wanting to get back at Cedric Alexander.
Yep.
So how do we do that this time?
Throw Cedric Alexander's bag into the river.
Oh, you mean the bag that Cedric Alexander had in his hand?
Yep, that one. Let's not throw that one in the river. Let's throw the other one.
Yeah, the one that apparently Noam Dar hurt. I don't know how you got, or I don't know how he misconstrued what Alicia said, or I don't know how Alicia got a black leather bag, or with plastic parts on it, was the one that Cedric actually owns.
Yeah.
But she or he misconstrued it for a gold bag with silver trim that apparently belonged to Arya Daivari.
That was worth $15,000.
And
Because there's only two of them in the world.
And his dad got it for him.
Yeah, the other one's probably with Sean. girls.
Or not. It's not the way I thought you were going with that. Well played,
Okay,
sir.
the other Davari brother.
Sean Davari. The original Davari.
Khosrow Davari.
Yeah.
What was his other name? Sheikh Bashir or something like that. DNA.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that. So yeah. I don't know where this is going.
I know, it's going to be a series of failed
Noam Dar's
attempts at messing with Cedric Alexander.
No, Alicia Fox is going to get Noam Dar in so much trouble.
Well, here's what I think is going to happen is Noam Dar is going to get so fed up of being embarrassed that he's going to dump Alicia Fox.
Okay. That's a good way for this to end.
Yeah.
That's a good full circle. We don't need that anymore. We had Mustafa Ali versus Drew Gulak number 3.
Yes.
Drew Gulak has picked up 2 wins against Mustafa Ali using the aerial tactics against Mustafa Ali.
And it looked like he was going to do it again this time.
Yeah, Drew even tried to give him an easy way out at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it was working really well for Drew. He was able to stop him a few times. Mustafa Ali got a decent amount of offense. But he tried
a lot of drop kicking.
Yeah, which ended up kind of being his undoing because he went for a front drop kick that Drew Gulak ended up catching, and Drew tried to turn it into a Boston Crab. But with the Boston Crab movement, Mustafa Ali actually flipped Drew Gulak over and hooked both of the legs and got a quick pinfall on Drew Gulak.
Good job.
So now
50-50 booking.
It's like 33-66.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's like Scott Steiner math.
they count that like every time that Mustafa Ali has like front flip teabagged Drew Gulak over the top rope.
Those are wins too.
Those are like each one's like a half a win.
Oh, okay. Okay. I get that. So yeah, this will probably end up being this will be the pre-show match to Great Balls of Fire.
I would be okay with it because they have good chemistry.
Yeah.
They put on good matches. So.
Yeah. So we might finish it there. We might not. We'll find out. And then just before our main event, TJP extended the same advice that Rich Swann gave him last week. Told him to go out and do business as he would face off against the king of the cruiserweights, the cruiserweight champion Neville. And of course, we had a fantastic match between Neville and Rich Swann.
Yeah.
Because it's the only type of match you get between Rich Swann and Neville.
Yeah.
Happens every time. With Akira Tozawa in his fake little VIP section.
I like the fact that they gave this match a lot of time.
They did.
It made it feel important.
And on top of it, it's Swann trying to get back into the title picture. At the same time, they're really trying to put over the fact that Neville is extremely bothered by Akira Tozawa.
Yeah.
And so Neville did a really good job of not only focusing the attack on Rich Swann to win the match, but in turn making sure that Akira Tozawa got enough attention for a lot of people to realize, okay, Neville might actually view Tozawa as a threat, or he's just trying to posture up and try and get Tozawa to back the hell off. But Rich Swann had a good amount of offense throughout this match. At one point, tried to go for the Phoenix Splash, which unfortunately failed.
Yeah.
And he was immediately locked into the Rings of Saturn with nowhere to go and tapped out to the Cruiserweight Champion, to which, as he laid on the ground, Neville stared at Akira Tozawa, and so we had kind of like Tozawa with like half shock face, half like I gotta stay cool face, and this will probably be our Cruiserweight Championship match at Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah.
Unless they decided to throw some sort of curveball at us.
I feel bad for Wealthy Duck.
For who? For who? What?
Nobody.
What duck?
The wealthy duck.
The wealthy Scrooge? What? I am so confused.
Let's keep it that way.
On that note, thanks for watching, guys.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Click the links down.
There's a lot of links.
Who's Scrooge?
Think.
Check out the podcast.
That's the SoundCloud link.
Check out Reasonable Wrestling Fans.
With a W.
Like wrestling. Who's the? Yeah, Reasonable Wrestling has all kinds of extra videos. You got Fantasy Warfare, you got the Hawktail Hour, What Colt's Wondering, and a bunch of other things as well.
Bonus moods.
Also, you can go back and check out our Money in the Bank review. It's a lot less positive than our Smackdown review. So check it out.
But a little bit more positive though than Raw review.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next. What?
It's Rich Spawn.